This year, you're becoming a data analyst, and I'm here to make sure of that. So you've been asking for the easiest way to become a data analyst. This is by far the most consistent question in my DM. And surprisingly, I've talked about this a lot on my page, but somehow this question still keeps coming up. Hey loves, goodness here. You probably know me, but if you don't, it's fine. I'm a data analyst who also doubles as a tech writer. And on this space, I share proven tips to help you become a data analyst and also monetize it. You're welcome to class. Now, there are a number of ways to become a data analyst in 2026, but I don't think that you have the time or the patience to follow every way. Now, what you need right now is to log in and learn. We started your course because you cannot be caught learning anyhow. Now, the first thing is data literacy. Now, this is non-negotiable. You cannot skip this part. In fact, this is the foundation where every other thing is built on. Now, if you want to learn something, you have to first of all understand what that thing is about. That's the same thing here. You cannot just jump into tools without first of all understanding why you are using the tool. You cannot become something you don't understand. Now, you need to understand what is data analytics, who is a data analyst, what are the types of data analytics, what are the soft skills required, why do we even need to be data analysts? Now, you need to understand all of this, and most importantly, the data analytics process. Now, you see your data analytics process or life cycle, as most people would say. This is the operating system of everything you're going to be doing as a data analyst. It tells the journey of taking your data from raw form, processing it, and turning it into meaningful information that will help businesses make better decisions. Now we have the core ones, our data collection, our data cleaning, data analysis, data visualization, and data interpretation. We have others that make each one up or exist in between: your data profiling, data wrangling, data transformation, data normalization, your EDA, your data modeling, and so on. But as you practice more as a data analyst, you understand what to add to your process. Now, each project might require a tweak in the process, but the fundamentals are the same. Now you understand your data analytics process. The next thing to do is to understand which tool can you use to achieve this. Now, if you're a beginner, I would advise you to start with Microsoft Excel. It is your best bet. And no, you're not going to be learning Microsoft Excel because you want to learn Microsoft Excel. No, now you're going to learn how to run your entire data analytics process using Microsoft Excel. Do you get the difference? Now, this will help you learn with intention. Now, let's say you want to practice data cleaning, for example, using your Microsoft Excel. You can use your functions or your formula or your Power Query. Right? So for your data cleaning, when you want to use your function, you know that, oh, you have to learn trim, you have to learn clean function, you have to learn the proper function, right? So you're not just learning sum if, count if, XLOOKUP because you feel like learning it. You're actually learning it because you need it to be able to take your data from its raw form, process it, and give out meaningful information that will help businesses. Because if you're just focusing on learning the formulas, the functions, what do you think you're using it for? Do you even know why you're using concatenate or your XLOOKUP? You don't. You're just learning it because it feels good to learn. But then when you understand that you need to take your data from its raw form, process it, bring out meaningful information, you can then start learning what functions or formula or tool do you need that can assist in doing that. Now, this will up your learning game. Now, for your data analysis, you need your pivot table. For your data modeling, you need your power pivots. They are two different things. Understand what you are learning and why you are learning it. Now, when you've learned how to run your entire data analytics process using your Microsoft Excel, the next thing to do is project. Or I advise you to do at least 2 to 3 projects. This will further solidify your learning. Then the next tool you can add is your SQL. Now, this is very important because data lives in database, not spreadsheet. So SQL teaches you how your data is stored, retrieved, and shaped. Now, this is where you start thinking like a data analyst. I'm currently on my SQL journey, but I'll be sharing more with you as I learn. Now, the next tool I would advise you to add is one visualization tool, which is a Power BI. If you've mastered your Excel very well, you won't really struggle much with your Power BI because it also has your Power Query for data cleaning and transformation. It also has your data modeling, right? Don't forget, don't just learn the tool, but learn how to use that tool to take your data from its raw form, process it, and give meaningful information that will help businesses. Now, insight means nothing if it cannot be communicated. And Power BI teaches you how to turn your analysis into decision. This is where your work becomes visible. And finally, if you can, learn Python basics. Python is powerful, but it's not a starting point. Right? When you already understand your data analytics process, Python simply helps you scale what you know. Now you can see that it's not about jumping into the tool. It's about understanding the process well enough that every tool you learn serves a clear purpose. That's how you become a data analyst in 2026. Now, instead of starting with the tool, start with understanding. Get the order right. And 2026 will look very different for you. Now, that's it for today's class. Save this video and share it to someone who needs it. I'll see you in my next class. You're welcome.